Okay, so I'm sure everybody has, or every mother has, a box or a bin or a trunk full of their children's treasures, like a treasure trove. Well, I want to show you a few things that are in mine. Obviously, it's baby blankets and haircuts and things of that sort. But there are pictures they made for me or sayings they wrote for me that I laminated. Now, I'm a homeschool mom and we love laminators. So I'm going to pull out a few of my sacred artifacts here and show you these gems. My son made that when he was younger. Is that not the cutest? This is something my son wrote. I'm writing about being patient. When you ask God for something over and over and you don't get it right away, be patient and depend on Him. God may say that you shouldn't have a thing you ask for because that thing you ask for isn't according to His will or best for you. He may not give the thing you ask for right away, or He may give it to you right away. God has a wonderful plan for every person's life and loves everyone so much. God loves you. These are all pictures or drawings or writings that I used to have on my wall. I had a wall full of them, and then it was 2 walls, and then it was 3 walls. I just surrounded myself full of these special gifts. This is also the beauty homeschool brings, because they love art and expressing themselves in different ways. They always loved to paint as well. Sometimes they would write poems or copy and recite poems. Look what God has made. Look at the puffy clouds. They tower up so high. They look like fluffy pillows as they glide across the sky. Look at the bright blue water. It glistens in the sun. See the sailboats crossing? Why, that would be very fun. Look at the brown cows and happy, content as they are, grazing and eating the grass on such a beautiful day. Look what God has made. It is very beautiful to see. He's the one who made you, and He loves you and me. I have one daughter who loves using the typewriter. I actually need to get her a better one, but this is a poem she wrote on her typewriter. Sometimes they would push little notes under my door if I was in my room, and one of my children is her love language is affection, and so she wrote this: I am not happy. Why do you ask? I am not happy because you are not cuddling with me. This is not credit to me. It's just giving kudos to homeschooling. It was one of my children thanking me for giving them that life. More drawings with crayons. This was another child. Dear Mom, thank you so much for the note and the cross. Thank you for the way you teach me and train me. I love our chats and talks together. Best mom ever. I suppose I always loved this color. This was on my wall too, so it was also things I enjoyed to look at. Sometimes it would be canvas art that I just color printed and laminated. Sometimes I would frame them if they spoke to me. Here's one that did. Sometimes homeschool would be just lounging across mommy's bed, and you could see the wall behind. That's just one of them with all their artwork. Here's another picture I laminated. Sometimes with their curriculum, they would have to do watercolor or something, and so one of the children painted this. I really need to get a frame for it. Stenciling was one of our favorites too. Stickers, stencils, those are wins. When one of my kiddos painted a chapel, because he knows that I love chapels and paintings or pictures of them. These were elementary age. That's fun. Dried flowers, a sun with our hands and finger paints. My son had those old wooden trains and tracks. He also had the Thomas the Train ones, the plastic ones, but the old wooden ones. And so he would draw a lot of trains. Sometimes to each other, they would send notes. This is from my son to his sister. This is when they were working on cursive. They would take a verse and practice. In different seasons, we would put up like cards all around to be thankful and grateful for, or we would make prayer boxes and put praises in there and take them out at the end of the week and read them to one another. One of our children made us this for our 10th wedding anniversary, and that is our personal marriage verse. I'm skipping through a lot here, but you can see I also have photo albums full of these crafts and just mementos. Sometimes I would enlarge pictures. This is their neighbor one year when we lived at a house where there were 2 little girls, and we would go there and just hang out with them. They would do Bible studies. We'd play on the trampoline. Their mom would have science projects going in the backyard, like volcanoes. And it was so fun doing like an organic kind of co-op with that mama. Just notes every now and then. I won't share this, but this is a note that one of my children wrote me when I was upset about something going on with our oldest, who is out of the house. And anyway, she had such compassion and empathy for me. It was a beautiful letter and just brought such joy to my heart. Here's another child on another day that I was going through something. And I think it's important that they see we have emotions and we're not perfect and we feel the feels and deal with it. And they're super encouraging. These children are my angels. And allowing them the permission to also communicate their heart through writing was a beautiful route too, because sometimes they wouldn't want to share until they built their character and confidence, and we worked on all of those traits, solidified the strength to look somebody in the eye, and all the character training. They would write letters. Oh, I remember this one. We went to the botanical gardens in Atlanta and then came back, and it was just like draw a picture of a plant growing at the Atlanta Botanical Garden, draw a picture of an interesting animal living at the Atlanta Botanical Garden. So just kind of a nature study with a field trip. Sometimes they would just be led to draw prophetic pictures of Jesus or the disciples. We have some compassion kids who we support, so they would make family trees and include them. Again, little sticky notes around the house. Mom, I loved our chat. I love that you're my mom. Something else they loved were stamps. So they would stamp, we got stamps off of like Craigslist or Marketplace and a bin full of them. And so we had so much fun creating crafts and gifts and projects from those homeschool resources and materials. It's just so cool how we can create and just broaden our horizons about different ways to express art. My children are still doing that today. My daughter is in her bedroom making a t-shirt. I'll show you that later. And they would put pictures with like, I love you, mommy. Here too. This is a great idea they would make for me. And I'm showing these because later they will be held close to my children's heart on this YouTube channel when they watch them and their children are born and they follow suit. My one daughter said she'd like to copy and paste her childhood for her children, her future children, and that's the best blessing ever. Here's more of that stamp fun I think I was telling you about. And again, notes that they gave me, just so special. Once at this public pool, we played volleyball, and then we came home and got a badminton set, so they drew a picture of that. This was cool because we had actually been to SeaWorld twice. The one on this channel is the most recent visit, but when they were younger, I just have them fill out what they loved about their trip there. And you can find all of this in workbooks, just even at Costco and big bulk shopping centers, they have like summer workbooks, and I just ripped pages out that worked for us, and that was some of school. My husband also leaves me notes around the house or cards. He sends me cards in the mail, so like addressed to me with a stamp, he'll send them from someplace or he'll send them from our house and I'll get them in the mail. So those are in here as well. I thought it was so neat how recently one of my daughters asked for all Daddy's letters to me, because he would write so many letters even before he had even met me, and then during our courting and engagement and afterwards. And so she's like, I want to keep them. I want to hold on to them. And I was like, okay, great. So we put them in a bin and a box in her closet, and those are her special keepsakes. This is just thanking me like on a birthday or something. One of the kiddos drew my youngest 3, because those are the ones who have been in the house mostly. And just that. Okay, I think this is just a small one, and I'll go through it quickly, but these were super special too. Little notes, verses, pictures, drawings, paintings. I love that of the angel. There's like another cathedral church. I loved this one. This was one of the first ones I had hung on my wall in that house when we were homeschooling. And I was learning my way, and they were teaching me so much. When she says, your face makes me smile every day, I thought that was cute. We had bird feeders. We had butterfly nets where we would order them in the mail and then release them, watch the whole process from caterpillar to butterfly and the metamorphosis, watch documentaries on things like that, go to greenways and take notes of just what we saw, flowers and trees, foxes, frogs, all of it. Again, you probably can't see what all of these say. I'm just going through it to show you what you can do with your children's artwork. I love candles, scented ones, candelabras. So whatever we seem to like, they take note of, and then they would like make art of. There's another angel, and at the end, thank you so much for what you do. We love you. And again, this wasn't to show off. It was to show you what you can do and receive too. You can also get a manila envelope and put children's cards and letters. I have different ones from my husband, from my mom, from just different unique cards and gifts from family members and friends that you don't want to keep up or out anymore. And I also have what I've done. So this was a paint by number. I love butterflies. You'll see butterfly shorts on this channel. And so my neighbor / friend had gifted me with this one year, and I just slowed down my pace and took the grace to paint for the first time in a very long time. And then I would buy canvases for my children, and they have, I mean, we could have bought stock in canvases. They love it. They would go outside and just listen to the birds and be in the sunshine or have the breeze and the bristling of trees and just that organic, natural, sweet rhythm. Oh, and I found this in here too. My son would do a whittling. We learn a lot about the 1800s, 1700, 1800, I mean, every historical period. And so he would make crosses and give them away as gifts. There's something else I found in here. It's clay art. Play-Doh we started out with and progressed, moved up. This is professional clay, but they also have the different colored clay that you can find at Michael's or Amazon. And they would have fun for hours molding their masterpieces. I would meet at parks, up for play dates at lakes and creeks and playgrounds. The library was an every Tuesday deal, and this is some moms were reading from the book Mother Culture. If you have not read that book, it was second best next to the Bible for raising my children and growing in understanding and wisdom and love for myself as well as them. So this is a picture of us mamas. My best friend and I up from Atlanta have a verse between us, and so she printed out these photos of us and wrote or got a sticker of "May the Lord watch between you and me when we are absent from one another" from Genesis. And so they have made so many gifts for friends and presents, and oh my gosh, the list goes on and on, from sewing on the sewing machine to knitting to crocheting to making and baking cookies and every type of pastry for neighbors or the older lady down the road who lived by herself, and we would wrap them in pretty bows and lace and ribbon and bring them, just surprise the neighbors with these delicacies. Recently, that same friend sent me this beautiful saying. It's a magnet, and I've sent her some just precious, thoughtful, I know she's going to love these jewels when she opens her mail. And so we love doing that. My children love doing that too, just because gifts. I'm going to leave you with this saying, because the children are going to model what they see and what you do and what your character is all about more than what you say. So live authentically and free and true to you, and that will support them firming up their foundation in who they are, what their identity is, as Christ at the core, and how they're divinely designed. One of my main principles has been to make margin, leave room. Yes, there are schedules. Yes, there are have-tos. These things need to get done, but a lot of space, a lot of just roaming, tons of freedom for them to find themselves and express themselves with confidence, the comfort that it is safe here, and the grace God gives us, knowing we're loved and we can love as we are loved in return.